Hey fam. Really quick and talk about what everybody knows and talks about. Fear, right? The fear factor, constant fear mongering, and also fear of the unknown. So people are afraid of being broke while homeschooling, and then some people are living that fear right on out, being broke while they homeschool. And it's, homeschooling does not require a ton of money. It does not. Because for the ones who understand that education and family life go together, it's only a world of segregation and in systems and institutional mindsets where all those things are segregated. It's amazing what God said when he said it is finished. And the partition between Christ and his people was destroyed, right? And we know that by the system that was removed at that time, and it was completely removed and disassembled. And what is that? That is the partition between him and us. So before, it was a whole system of things that you had to do and work through in order to get to the Holy of Holies, to get to God, right? And so when Jesus came and resurrected and finished it, when he said it is finished, it means that we no longer have to have partitions or segregation in our life. That our abundance comes from knowing that we are 100% his, and every day belongs to him, right? And so when we understand that, then we understand that homeschooling is not a segregation. We don't have to be broke, right? We have to change our mindset, and that's how I've produced abundant kids who are abundantly successful, right? They know how to make friends, make business, make money, create a life, create a household. They do all of those things. Why? Because our education was never separated from their growth in their home. Everything was related. So my behavior on Sunday is the same as my behavior on Tuesday, right? And that's such a huge, vast difference between what the systems, the institutional mindset, even churchianity teaches, is that things are segregated. You come to this place, you come on Sunday, you come on Wednesday. I'm not knocking any of those activities, but what I'm saying is transform your mind to understand that everything you do, everything you teach your children is from the moment you wake up to the moment you guys go to bed, and even the environment of sleep in the household and the way that you cultivate your household, that is what produces abundance. That's what produces the mindset of plenty. So the reason I say that is because so many people are struggling financially, they're struggling spiritually, they're struggling to create an abundance in the homeschool communities and in the homeschool. Some people deeply desire to home educate, but they don't have a vehicle in which to provide financially to be able to make it work, right? Because two people are in the workforce, which, by the way, is a created construct, right? To remove parents from the deeply integrated, woven fabric of their lives into their children's lives. And that is literally why I have successful children. I say that with no pride. I don't say that with any pride, because the system doesn't belong to me, it belongs to God. God's system created that. His integrity, his truth, his way, right, is overflowing. It says, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. My cup overfloweth. So his principles, number one, that's the number one way. But that's not religiosity. That's not churchianity. That is literally living it out every day, like Deuteronomy 6 says. So, don't want to be broke while you homeschool. I don't either. And that is one of the reasons why I have literally watched God transform the financial landscape of our family from day one to now. And what is that one thing? What is that one thing that he did? He showed us that our time with our children is our first priority, because he says, lo, children are a heritage of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is his reward. And when you will put that first, all these things will be added unto you. What does it say? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. And what does he say about let the little children come to me, because such belongs the kingdom of heaven to them. That belongs to them. The kingdom belongs to children. So become like a little child so that you can enter in, right? So if that's the case, then how would we get ourselves into a situation where we would be thinking that we cannot be with our children? So no, the answer is faith. Faith, that one thing, is that God gave us a legacy. He gave us gold. And what is that gold? That gold is our children. Our children are the commerce of our life here, and they're the commerce of the kingdom to come. Why do you think the evil one is always sifting out the children? Why do we see all these things in our social structures that is constantly harming children? The number one way is because parents have been removed as their children's first and foremost protector, and it is their job, right? It says that low children are a heritage of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is his reward. Do you know what a heritage is? It's one that goes beyond your generations. It's generations and generations and generations of abundance, of plenty, of gold, of silver. That's there for them. That's what they are. So that's the whole point of, first of all, putting your time with your children first. That is mother and father's first job. If you need to know more about that, I really highly recommend getting my book, The Mothering Blueprint. It's by invitation only, The Mothering Blueprint on Amazon. I would love for you to get it. And if you're local to me, I'll sign it for you and bless your book and bless your life. But here, so the reason why I say, if you go to motherdale.com, you can find a vehicle in which to put your skills and learn. So motherdale.com is a site built for people who want to learn today's skills on how to generate income real time using skills integrated with your true life, and that's a wonderful opportunity. Aside from that, if that's not for you, I don't want you to be discouraged. God is a creative God. His creative doesn't end with me and what I offer. His creative transcends. It is literally the prescription. Instead of taking one from a doctor that cannot cure, right? Instead of doing that, take the prescription from the good physician, the one that knows you, created you, and his creativity never ends. So he can create a life for you because he loves you. And if you will put your faith in that process, the process that he's a provider, he's the creator, he can make it happen for you. You don't ever have to be broke while doing the things that God called you. Now listen, there are circumstances, and people say, but I'm living the circumstance. We just had just enough. He promises to provide. That is different, okay? So the bare minimum is the provision that meets your exact need. But what about the overflow? Where does that come from, right? Well, that comes from us moving out in faith. So when we are stuck in just the bare minimum, the provision, which I have been there, we have been there, friends, let me tell you, we have been there. We came to where we are with 4 kids and 0 income opportunities, just the hope of building a business with a skill. And we trekked that out. I just messaged my son today, who is actually the creator of a 7-figure, multi-million-dollar company that generates marketing and ads all over the world, okay, for companies. And I literally messaged him today because he posted on his stories on Motherdale Collective, and you can go and you can fact check me. He is a real person. And I said, yeah, you know what? Your dad's a real one, because there was a time where he laid in the bed and cried because we had 6 months of no income, and we had maxed out our savings for our transition into this region, and he literally said, I'm going to have to go and get a job at Home Depot. And I said, absolutely not. We did not come this far for you to work at Home Depot. No offense to anybody that does, but my husband had a skill, he had a trade, he had an expertise. He just hadn't fully developed it, right? And we moved to a new region where we didn't know anybody. God said, move to this region. We knew no one, and we did, well, I shouldn't say that. We knew a couple of people, but we didn't know anyone. We were not connected to income. We weren't connected to a name that would transform into money. That was a God thing. And do you know that my husband has never advertised? He's never advertised, never had an advertising budget. You know why? Because he prayed. He prayed. He said, I'm going to provide. I'm going to walk through this. And I was there to tell him, you did not come this far to just put in an application somewhere and be an employee. You are an owner. You are a business owner. You are a leader. You are a provider. And he knew those things already, but I was there to encourage him. See, that is and my son, I wrote all that down in a message to him in response to his story. He said, I love that. I said, I always want you to remember he's a real one. He's a real one. He walked through that when you didn't see the result, but you actually had to walk it by faith. So I want to encourage you, by faith, walk through the creativity that God has for you. And if you feel led, you pray about it, because I don't want anybody to do anything that they're not led to do. But if you feel led to go to motherdale.com and put in your email, it doesn't matter if you're a mother or a father or anybody that sees this can do these things, because these are skills. These are real-time skills. Go there, put your email in, and begin the process of learning how to transform your skills into real-time income. And guess what? I don't ditch you after that. you get invited, if you buy the full package, you get invited to a real live mentoring community that will actually help you every step of the way. And there's live calls, there's live help, and there's a community of people that are doing this every day all over the world. So this is not just like in your neighborhood and you don't have to rely on your friends. This is not anything to do with MLM or anything like that. This is real time. These are real time skills that my son transformed his life into a multi-million-dollar, seven-figure, multi-million-dollar company, and my daughter as well, using digital skills and real time life. This is how they were grown. They were grown in a beginner, we began our life. I began my life as a teen mom, okay? I was a teen mom who wasn't married, who didn't know if I was even going to be married and provided for. I had no clue if that was actually going to happen. I just trusted God. I said, you know what, Lord? I know that I want to be a wife and a mother, and I don't want to be in a situation where I have no provision, and I don't want to leave my baby. And that God honored that, and He literally transformed my husband's life. I became a wife. I was already a mother, but I became a wife, and I became someone who could literally dedicate my life to teaching my children the love, the environment of plenty, the environment of abundance, and then to launch them on into their life. And so it's so exciting to be able to share that now, being that I have 5 grown children who are living a very abundant, successful life, and then I have 4 dependent children who are in the process of learning these skills. So I hope that will be encouraging to you, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the Motherdale.